What is going on, guys? And welcome back to 365 Analytics. And today, this is our first video since the combine has concluded, and I will be diving into my own fandom. I'm a Bengals fan and doing a Cincinnati Bengals post combine 7 round mock draft with a trade included. Um, if you guys enjoy the content, like, subscribe, do all that. We have a new TikTok up. I will link down the description. We will be posting over there. Um, from time to time, but YouTube's still our main platform, obviously. We're really trying to grow. Views have been really down, subscribers have been really down. I'm trying to grow this platform pretty big so I can I can make some good sports content for people to enjoy. So yeah, that's about it. And let's get into this mock. So the trade I included, this is my first mock draft. I've done all mock season in 2024 with a trade. So the trade was there were reports coming out of Indianapolis during the combine that the Bengals could be shopping T. Higgins. This might not be how I go about the situation, but I think this would be like a realistic trade in a package that would include T. Higgins for draft picks. I think this is a realistic return of what the Bengals could get for a trade like this, and this is what I included. So I sent wide receiver T. Higgins to go back to his hometown of Tennessee to reunite with Brian Callahan in a draft trade that gives the Bengals the Titans second round pick, pick 38 overall, one of the early picks in the second round, a round six pick from this year, 184 overall, and a 2025 round three pick, which is obviously to be determined how the Titans finished. So I think this is actually a realistic return and a trade that would send T. Higgins over. This might not be how like I would handle it if I'm in the Bengals front office. I would probably like in my opinion, I'm keeping T. Higgins this year. And when your window's open for a championship, I'm keeping him this year, unless you're getting like a good quality first round pick or anything like that. But I think this would be, with how good this receiver class is, this would be like a realistic compensation for trading away T. Higgins. So now let's get into the actual mock draft with our first round pick. The simulator I used had him falling. Round one, Talise Fuaga had outstanding combine in the first group of offensive tackles and offensive linemen, him and Fautanu from Washington really shined. And in the mock draft simulator I used, Talise Fuaga fell all the way to pick 18. And at that point, I'm like, I have to scoop him up. So this guy is an absolute beast of a right tackle. This guy's a football player. He's a football player. Um, Quality tackle, played for the Oregon State Beavers. He would immediately start on the Bengals offensive line. Didn't have the potential to be one of the offensive line greats in the Bengals history. Obviously, there's the great tackles, Whitworth, Munoz, and Willie Anderson. There's all these great tackles that the Bengals have had in the past. They even had Richmond Webb. Well, Richmond Webb wasn't in his prime when we had him, but he was he was a solid player. But we obviously had him when he was kind of washed up. Um, but Fuaga would be an amazing right tackle for this offensive line and immediately give the Bengals a really solid piece on that line to block for Burrow. It would create with a good offensive line with two really good outside tackles. It would be Orlando Brown Jr. and Fuaga as your outside tackle. That's a really good duo if you ask me. And this is one of my dream picks of the first round. If one of my dreams. Like this, Brock Bowers, and I mean old Fasciano if he falls all the way to down to number 18. Those are my three like dream picks of the first round. Round two. This is the competition from Tennessee, pick 38. Another guy who had an outstanding combine in Indianapolis, Braden Fisk, defensive line from LSU. He is 24 years old. I'm not going to skip past that. I understand that he is 24 years old. He ran an outstanding 40-yard dash for a defensive lineman, 10-yard split was elite. Like broad jump, vertical. He had an outstanding weekend in Indianapolis for a D lineman, and I think he boosted his draft stock a lot. I expected him to go late second round before the combine. Now I expect him to go early second round, as I had the Bengals trading up here to go get him in the T Higgins deal, and he would be one of the pieces that the Bengals interior D line really needs. Um, Amazing player. He might even go to the back end of the first round if we're being real. This is kind of like after his combine performance, he might go to the back end of the first, but this is a really good pick for the Bengals. Gives them interior D line strength with Reader being a free agent. BJ Hill's your DT1 right now, and legal tampering starts on Monday, and obviously they're gonna pick up some D tackles in free agency, but Fisk right now before free agency, before legal tampering, Fisk is my pick at 38 if, in this trade scenario. So our own second round pick, this guy Jalen Polk, kind of was shadowed by Romo Dunze, but still a very good wide receiver out of Washington. This is the actual Bengals second round pick. A great season with Penix. They had three really good receivers over there in Washington. Penix had really had a lot of weapons to throw to. Obviously, he was kind of overshadowed by Adunze, but he still produced at a very high level for a wide receiver too. And I think in the T. Higgins deal, they're gonna go pick up a wide receiver very, very early in this draft. And this wide receiver class is very deep. I like Adonai Mitchell. I like Xavier Worthy after he obviously broke the record for the 40-yard dash. I like Polk. Like second round guys I'm talking about, like second. Troy Franklin's very good. There's so much wide receiver talent in this draft, and I think the Bengals go get one with Polk here in this mock draft. Next, round three, Jaheim Bell, tight end. Obviously, the Bengals need to fill the tight end hole. If it's not Bowers, if it's not Sinnott, if it's not Dallin, if it's like they have some tight end options in this draft. Round three, pick 80. I'm taking Jaheim Bell from FSU. Made an outstanding one-handed catch in his workout at the combine in the on-field drills. He does have some drop problems. That I'm not going to skip past that. Does have some very big drop problems, but I think he will go around this area of round three. And I think this would be a very athletic and good pickup for the Bengals and be an immediate piece to the Bengals offense. Round four, 116. I have them picking Marcus Harris, the defensive end from Auburn. Um, right when the combine started, the Bengals interviewed Jared Verse. They interviewed Chop Robinson. They interviewed a defensive end from Colorado, I believe. They interviewed countless defensive ends. Well, I should say countless, but they interviewed a few defensive ends to kick off the combine in Indy this past weekend. And so that clearly gives a statement that they are going to look to improve the defensive end position, probably in the first four rounds, as I have them picking round four here. Marcus Harris. And I think it gives them a solid depth piece. Obviously, he will sit behind Hendrickson, Hubbard, Sample, Osai, Murphy, but it gives him a really good depth piece with I don't know what's going on with Osai. Does Osai make the team? Osai had a very disappointing year this past season. Sample's a really solid depth piece, but he just adds to that room. Hopefully Murphy takes a leap, but they definitely need another defensive end. You can never have enough pass rushers in the NFL. I always say you can never have enough pass rushers. Sam Hubbard kind of had a disappointing year this past season, pass rush wise, but they get this good piece in the defensive end room and pass rush room. Round five. This guy also had a solid combine. I saw this guy making plays on field drills. Pretty sure he looked good in his drills. From Boston College. They're also going to look at corner, and this is where I think they go. Elijah Jones, pretty underrated player. Pretty underrated player. He could even go earlier than this, honestly. This is just the mock draft simulator I use. He might go earlier than this, but I think at this point, Bengals are going BPA. And if they see a corner on the board, gives them corner depth behind Taylor Britt, Reader, Taylor Britt, Turner, Cheeto still up in the air if he gets re-signed or not. I think if Cheeto makes it a few days into free agency, they could re-sign him if his money gets cheap after a few days of not receiving offers or receiving looks from other teams. But obviously Mike Hilton's still in the slot cornerback. Maybe Dax Hill could be a hybrid slot cornerback, but I don't know if they look that way. Well, yeah, I'd pick Elijah Jones round five. The second pick from Tennessee. This is your running back pick right here. Obviously, Mixon's still up in the air. Who knows what happens there? If Mixon gets cut, they are obviously going to pick a running back much earlier in this to pair with Chase Brown. As of right now, Mixon's on the team, and I have them looking round six, pick 184, the pick from Tennessee, Jace McClellan from Alabama. This is Alabama's running back this past season, and he produced at a decently high level. And if Mixon's on the team next year, he's due a signing bonus or a bonus, like a few $1 million bonus on March 18th. So the Bengals will be making a decision on Mixon to keep him or not before the March 18th deadline. So we will know about this very soon. My next mock draft will probably be when the Mixon decision's resolved anyway. So this will either it will either stay a 6th round pick. I think they're picking a running back no matter what. I just had McClellan in this mock since Mixon's still on the team. But if Mixon's not on the team going into next season, there will be a running back picked, maybe first 3 rounds, probably first 2 to 3 rounds. But here, 6th round pick, McClellan, Alabama. Round 6. This guy, this is interesting. So in the mock draft simulator I used, Garrett Greenfield actually fell much farther than I thought he would. I believe this past weekend in the combine in Indy, he recorded the highest vertical jump ever by an offensive lineman at the combine from South Dakota State. Very good accomplishment for him, but at this point, I saw him on the board and I'm like, I gotta snag him. Very quality offensive lineman. I shouldn't say very quality because that was a late round guy, but this guy has a pretty high ceiling, I'd say. I think he could be a really good player in the NFL, but let's see how he produces at the next level. Obviously, in this scenario, wouldn't start for the Bengals week one, but would be a solid depth piece looking to eventually get on the field. And I think this could be a home run pick for the Bengals if they decide to go this way. Round 7, we got two 7th round picks, and then we'll wrap it up. I have him picking the second wide receiver, Bub Means from Pitt. Obviously, we know Boyd's out the door. Higgins in this scenario out the door, so I've been picking two wide receivers. Um, This guy, obviously, in this scenario, he would be last on the depth chart. Yoshi would be over him. Charlie Jones would be over him. Trenton Irwin's a free agent. Let's see if he gets re-signed or not. But yeah, I am going two wide receivers in this mock before free agency. Yeah, I'm picking Bub Means, 235th overall from Pittsburgh. Last pick of the mock, Marcellus Dial from South Carolina. I also have him doubling up at corner with Elijah and Marcellus. He's from South Carolina. I don't know much about him, to be honest with you, but late round pick in the mock draft. I have the Bengals doubling up at corner. No matter who it is, I think they're going to double up at corner in this scenario at this given time before free agency. And yeah, should be a good pick out of South Carolina. So that will wrap it up for this is my Bengals mock 3.0 post combine 7 round mock. If you guys enjoy, subscribe, like. If you guys want, that would be greatly appreciated by me. I wouldn't thank you guys enough. And there will be more content later this week on free agency predictions, so do not miss that. There will be free agency predictions later this week, um, about the top free agents among the league. So, hope you guys have a great day or night whenever you're watching this. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Legal tampering starts on Monday. It's gotta be a fun time. March Madness also starts soon. So yeah, see you guys later.